All right, guys, Sensei James here. We've got the Semester 1 material for 2016. This will be the months of January, February, March, and April of 2016 for our junior judo curriculum. We're going to go through the names of the techniques in Japanese and English, and also the vocabulary and general knowledge section as a study guide for the kids. We have 3 throws this semester: Morote Gari, the double leg takedown; Kosoto Gake, the small outer hook; and Osoto Gari, the large outer reap. This semester we're going to do a variation of Osoto Gari we refer to as the hopping Osoto Gari. Our pinning techniques will be Makura Kesagatami, the pillow scarf hold, and we'll use a bridge and roll escape to get out of that pin. We're doing Mune Gatami, the chest hold, and we're going to shrimp away and do a guard recovery to escape that pin. And our third pin will be Tate Shiho Gatami, the top locking 4-corner hold. And to escape that, we're going to do what we call an arm and foot trap and then a bridge and roll. For our miscellaneous mat work this semester, we're going to do the knee push scissor sweep. We're going to do a separation pass, but it'll be a little different than what the kids have done before. This one is what we call a separation and stand up, and we'll do what we refer to as threading the needle to pass the opponent's guard and get into a pinning position. The older kids, ages 10, 11, and 12, we're going to have 2 choking techniques to work on. The first one is Hadaka Jame, the naked choke, and Sankaku Jame, the triangle choke. Vocabulary and general knowledge, we have the word ko, which is small; soto, which is outer; gari, which is reap; and gake, which is hook. I have a couple of questions. The first one: what are the 3 parts of a judo throw? That's off balance, entry, and execution. And we want the kids, as always, to be able to count to 10 in Japanese. That's ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, ku, and ju. So that's it for semester 1 of 2016. I hope you guys find this useful to help the kids get ready and study for their next promotions.
All right, guys, Sensei James here along with Sensei John, and we're going to be going over the junior judo material for the first semester of 2016. This will be the months of January, February, March, and April. So we're going to cover the throws, the pins and escapes, the mat work, and also the vocabulary and general knowledge that all the kids need to be working on. So let's get right into it with the throwing techniques. So our first technique is a repeat from a previous semester. Some of the kids are going to already know it and be familiar with it, but we do have a big tournament coming up this semester. Some of the kids are going to want to play in, and this is a very, very popular and common competition throw, so I wanted the kids to be very familiar with it and still working on it. It's Morote Gari, the double leg takedown. We're going to see it 2 different ways. The first way from a grip break, and the second way right before the opponent actually takes a grip on us. So let's see the grip break version first. From here, I'm going to drop both of my hands down, circle outside, and then blast back through to break his grip. As I do that, my right foot will step deep all the way between his 2 feet. So I'm up, I blast his grip, and step deep. My shoulder goes into his belt knot, the side of my head goes in his ribs, and I want to be looking up. I'm going to grab right behind both knees, lift him up, and throw him back. Here and here, like that. So we'll see that straight through, non-stop. Okay, the other way that we may use that throw would be right before the opponent actually grabs us. They reached out to take a grip. We might take our hands and pop their hands up out of the way as we shoot in deep, shoulder to stomach, head again in the ribs, looking up, grab the back of the knees, and then throw them back. So let's see that version. Pop and shoot here. So Morote Gari, the double leg takedown. Our next throw is Kosoto Gake, the small outer hook. This is a very, very simple technique, but it can be very effective for throwing someone. So what we're going to do, whichever foot that the opponent has forward, we're going to step around and trap it with our leg on the same side. So if his right foot is forward, I'll take my left foot, step around, and I'm going to actually put my foot on the mat, but I'm going to be behind his leg, sort of knee to knee or calf muscle to calf muscle like this. Now that I'm here, use my body and my arms to push him over here. Now, if it so happened that his other leg were forward, then I would use my right foot to trap. So I might be here and here, and I might step, trap, and then push him down here. So unlike a gari or a reap, when we do a gake, our foot traps their leg, and then our foot stays on the ground like this again with his right foot. I step, but my foot stays planted. I don't have to actually kick his leg out. I hold it there so he can't move it, and then I push him down to make him fall down. So, Kosoto Gake, the small outer hook. Our last throw for this semester is Osoto Gari, the large outer reap, but we're doing a different version of it we call the hopping Osoto Gari. You could also maybe call it Kinkin Osoto Gari. For the kids, as long as they know it's Osoto Gari, the large outer reap, they're going to be just fine. So this is how it works. My right heel comes around and hooks right behind my opponent's knee. I lower my head down so that I'm looking at the mat. It's very important when we hop that we don't want our head to go back. We don't want our chin to come up. When we do that, we lose our balance. So when I make the hook on his knee, I tuck my head and look at the mat, and now I take a series of small hops with my other foot until this foot is even with or behind his foot. So hop, 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 and then I reap the leg out. Sorry about that. So hook and throw. So Osoto Gari, large outer reap, but the hopping variation. Let's go right into our pinning techniques. Our first one is another variation of Keisugatami. Some of the kids have worked on this one before. We call it Makura Keisugatami, the pillow scarf hold. Let's see how that looks. So again, I'm sitting close to my opponent, putting my right arm behind their head. Their arm is trapped under my armpit, and my hand is grabbing above the elbow. So I'm grabbing the tricep area. Now what I want to do is lift their shoulder high, put my knee under their shoulder blade, and my hand will grab inside my own leg, and we clamp down tight. If I can't quite reach inside my leg, I could also just grab the material of my gi pants here and hold like this. What's really important is we get that knee as far under as we're able to hold them tight. The escape here will be a bridge and roll. He's going to grab me with both hands, get as close to me as he can, then use his legs to bridge me up and then over here for the bridge and roll escape. Our next pin is Mune Gatami, the chest hold. Again, this is a repeat. The pins, we only have a certain number of those, so we tend to just rotate through them from semester to semester. So the kids will still have the same pins over and over. What we hope is they'll continue to improve and get better and better with them. So Mune Gatami is a chest hold. I want my knees close to his body. My lower knee is going to be touching his hip, my upper knee in his armpit, my chest on his chest, and there's two different ways they can use their arms. Either one is fine. They can go behind the head and under the armpit here, or they can go over the head and hug the arm here and here. Either way will be acceptable. So for the escape, what he's going to do is place his forearm under my chin, and his other forearm, if he can, he'll get underneath my hip. If he can't get his forearm under my hip, he'll just use his hand into my hip. He's going to use his legs and arms to bridge me up as high as possible, fall on his side, shrimp away, and get his legs around my waist to do a guard recovery. Let's see what it looks like. He bridges up, shrimps away, makes that space, and now his lower knee comes in, and he can push and make space, and now he can recover his guard, so he's no longer being pinned. So we have Mune Gatami, the chest hold, followed with a bridge upward, shrimp away, and then a guard recovery. Our last pinning technique for this semester is Tate Shiho Gatami, the top locking four-corner hold. We've done a few different variations of this one. For this semester, we're going to do kind of the classical version, which means my right arm is going to go behind his neck here. If I can, I will also trap his right arm here across his face, and I'll trap it with the top of my shoulder and my neck, and I'll clasp my arms together. Once I've got him here, he's going to do what we call arm and foot trap bridge and roll. He's going to trap my arm that's behind his head so I can't move it, and use his foot to trap my foot so I can't move it, then he'll bridge me to that side. I can't put my arm out to stop him. I can't put my leg out to stop him. We'll see it head on, and then we'll turn sideways. So let's see it from here. First, he traps my arm so I can't move it. His foot is going to trap my foot so I can't move it, and he's going to bridge me up and over. Now, as soon as he gets here, he'll put his hands on my chest or on my biceps, and he will push up and then climb his hands back down toward my belt. Notice he's taking a wide base, good tall posture, and his arms are inside my legs. We want to do that every single time when we end up in someone's guard. So let's see that now from a side view. He'll trap the arm, so now I can't put it out. If he doesn't trap the arm, then what I'll do when he tries to bridge is I'll put it out here and I stop him. So he traps the arm, then he traps my foot. If he doesn't trap my foot, then he tries to bridge. I can put it out. So he traps the foot. Now he can bridge, and I can't stop him. Now he traps my arms, climbs up, wide base, tall posture, short arms with the elbows inside. So that's our 3 pins with escapes for the semester. Okay, we're going to cover the mat work or miscellaneous mat work for this first semester of 2016. I got Sensei JW here to help me out with the mat work techniques. We have a guard sweep, we have a guard pass, and then we've got 2 choking techniques that the 10, 11, 12-year-olds are going to work on. So let's look at the guard sweep first. It's called a knee push scissor sweep. So I'm going to be on my back with my opponent in my guard here. So what I'm going to do is take my right hand and grab his lapel. Now it can be on this side or it can be on the opposite side. Either one is fine. What is important is that if I want to sweep my opponent in this direction, I must control the arm on that side, okay? If I try to knock him over that way and his arm is totally free, he'll just put it out and stop my sweep. So the right hand can grab either lapel, but we want the left hand to grab the sleeve. Usually I like to grab close to the elbow, maybe around the forearm area, maybe right at the elbow. I want to be able to hold his arm and trap it in tight so he can't put that out. I like to use my feet to move my body away from him and make a little space. So from this position, I will push back and turn to my side. Push back and turn to the side. My right knee goes across his chest. So if you notice here, my knee is high. It's on his chest. We don't want the leg down here near their belt. It's not going to work very well at all. We want the leg to be here. My knee is on one side, my feet and toes are on the other side. And so I've got him gripped here and here. Once I put my knee in position, I'm pulling him real strongly into it. If I'm real loose here, he can just back up and get away. So we have to be sure that this grip on the lapel and the sleeve, that we're pulling him in real strong. Now my left foot drops down to the front of his knee all the way at the mat level. And it's going to push straight back to break his base. Once I do that, my bent leg just kicks straight out. So we push and kick. And we always want to follow that up top. Maybe get into Tate Shiho Gatami, one of the pins that we looked at just a little bit earlier in this semester. Let's see it again straight through without the talk. All right, so that's the knee push scissor sweep. So now I'm going to have Sensei JW on his back with his head toward you guys. We're going to see this pass. Now this particular pass is one that we call a level change. We want the kids to stand up out of the guard and do an open guard pass or standing guard pass. So we'll start here in their guard with a wide base, with our arms in nice and short, elbows inside, and my shoulders up nice and tall. I'm going to use this, what we call a separation or step back technique. So I bring my right knee over to the middle of his body, and now my left leg is going to go straight back, and I'm going to pop all the way up to here. As soon as I do that, my hands are going to come down, and I'm going to grab his pant legs on the inside and get real good, tight, strong grips. Now I'm going to tilt his knees to the side, and my right leg steps through that hole. We call that threading the needle. And now this outside leg just steps all the way around. And maybe from here, I go into Munegatami, here or here, our chest hold that we worked on earlier. Let's see it from this angle. So we're here, knee to the middle, other leg back, and up we go. Grab the pant legs, shift him to the side to open this up, and now this leg, the one on the inside, just steps over. And this leg comes way around. And then I just go on top for Munegatami chest hold. So we refer to that as separation or stand-up pass, and then thread the needle the way we step our leg through. So we have two choking techniques. Again, 10, 11, and 12-year-olds are going to work on this one. The first one is our naked choke, Hadaka Jame. So we typically do this one from behind. It can actually be done from a lot of positions, but this is the traditional way. My right arm is going to come around, and I want the crook of my elbow, if possible, to go right under his chin. So my elbow goes under. I'm going to grab my own hand here, put my head to his head to trap it a little tighter, and then I just close this triangle. So all I'm really doing is making a triangle here and then closing it off. Now, lots and lots of variations of this technique. Another acceptable version would be to put this hand into my elbow and then go behind and grab the top of my shoulder, and I can squeeze here. What we don't want the kids to do, what's illegal in judo, is we would not want to put this hand on the back of their head and then push their head forward. That's unsafe for his neck. It's a neck crank, so we don't want to see that. The other thing we don't want to see the kids do is to get here and then just lift up and back with their head and neck like that. That's also not safe for my partner for his neck. Be considered a neck crank and they'd be disqualified. We want to go around nice and clean and then simply squeeze until our partner taps. Okay? So Hadaka Jame, the naked choke. And our last technique is Senkaku Jame, the triangle choke. We do this one from our back, from the guard position. So I've got my opponent or partner here in my guard. What I'm looking for here is an opportunity where he tries to go underneath my leg. Maybe he wants to throw that leg across and then come pin me in the chest hold. So I'm looking for that opportunity. When he drives underneath, what I'm going to do is take this leg and push it strongly onto the side of his neck. So I want to grab here, or even better, grab this sleeve, and then I push strongly across. Notice how I changed my angle a little bit. Look how I'm looking at the side of his head. So my leg goes across the back of his neck. My leg is not going down his back, across his shoulder blades, across his neck. Now I'll pull this arm across, put my right foot behind my left knee, and squeeze down, and we create a very powerful choke called a triangle choke, or Senkaku in Japanese. Another variation here would be to grab their sleeves, put my feet on their hips, and my knees inside. Then my foot comes to the shoulder. Then my foot goes up and over, pull hard, and lock in tight for the triangle choke there. Again, with these two choking techniques, it will only be the older kids working on it, and we're going to help them out with those a lot. I don't really recommend that you let the kids practice choking techniques at home on their siblings or on mom or dad, but let them watch the video to help keep this refreshed in their mind, and then we'll practice these in class with them. That's it. Those are your Junior Judo techniques, Semester 1, 2016. Thanks a lot. Work hard. See you guys on the mats.